Hey guys, Brandon here. Today we're going to do a quick review on the Accsoon A1-S Gimbal. Now this gimbal is pretty new in the market. I think not many people have heard about the gimbal, and its Facebook page has only a few hundred likes, but we'll see how it works. Overall, this gimbal is really light. So right here with me, I have the Sony A7 Mark III. For the lens, I have a Sony 16-35 f4. So overall, I believe this is about 1.2 kg. I'm not sure. Probably I'll correct myself right here. With the lens and the body and the gimbal, the total weight is still pretty light. Overall, I think the gimbal handles really well. It's built really sturdy like a tank. Everything is made out of metal. I don't think there's any plastic parts. I think only the buttons are made of plastic. Let's try that again. I believe this gimbal falls under the 3rd generation or 4th generation gimbal, where it has a tilt such that you can see the screen. Which I personally think is very important, because I do a lot of run-and-gun filming, I do a lot of event filming, and I constantly need to see the screen, so that's very important. So for this particular video, we'll do a really quick test on how this gimbal flies. So right now I'm actually walking with the gimbal right now, as you can see. So I'm in this beautiful place called the MBS Gardens by the Bay. And right now I'm actually on the selfie mode. So if you press 1, 2, 3 on the power button, you can actually go onto the selfie mode. So let me just do that one time. So yeah, so that's the selfie mode. And I'm not sure whether it's really stable. I'm actually not going to do any warp stabilization in post. So this is what you see is what you get. I have to mention that there's image stabilization in the camera. So that is actually turned on. Singapore Flyer. So I'm still trying to find where is the best place to shoot it. I should go into the shade before I die. Alright, so I actually found a nice place to shoot. I'm still trying to find many places, but I'll just settle for one right now just for the sake of time. I don't think it's gonna rain. The sun just came out again. Really weird weather. Really weird weather nowadays. Alright, I found this straight path. I'm just gonna try a walking shot. So the camera actually has 4 different working modes. The first mode is the pan follow mode. So I'm just going to switch over to the pan follow mode by pressing 1 time on the mode. So if you see here, I'm just going to pan my camera just by moving the handle, and you can see it moves only on the roll. Now if I were to do the tilt axis, you can see that it doesn't tilt at all. And if I were to try to roll on the roll axis, that doesn't work as well. So I don't really use the first mode, because I like mode 2. So which brings us to the pan and tilt follow mode. So the pan and tilt follow mode simply follows your pan and your tilt. So if I were to pan and tilt at the same time, it actually follows. So this is really useful for me, especially for run and gun filming. So yeah, anytime you want to do a sweeping tilt shot, you can do that. You can just start down and then you can go up. Just like that. So it's really useful. I use this really a lot. So let's go to mode 3. So I'm just going to press this button 3 times. So now what you see now is that no matter how I move the gimbal, it just locks onto that axis, right? And the only way you can actually control the gimbal right now is by using the joystick. So pretty useful if you want to do a hyperlapse like this. Which brings us to the last mode, which is mode 4. This mode is pretty self-explanatory. I'm just going to show you what it does. So if I were to tilt the gimbal on the roll axis, you can see that it follows. Pretty cool for those Avengers looking shot, which is simply the Dutch angle shot, So the camera also has 3 working positions. The first one being the upright mode. So this is the upright mode. There is also the second mode, which is the underslung mode, which I'm just gonna do it right now. So this is the underslung mode, which I'm sure everyone is familiar with. This is really good for getting really low angle shots. You can still use your joystick, it still works. Now the last mode is what they call the torchlight mode. If you set your camera to mode 1, which I'm just gonna do right now, and put your camera in the position like a torchlight, you know, like shining a torchlight, and you know, if you either press left or right on your joystick, you'll see this happening. So it allows for a full 360 degree rotation, which is pretty cool. I'm not sure what I'm going to use this for, but probably one day, you know, when I get really creative or something like that, I'll probably use it. And so yeah, these are the 3 working positions of the Accsoon A1-S. So overall, the gimbal has been really great. I have no problems with it so far, but that being said, I have only used it for 3 days in total. I bought mine, so this is not sponsored. I paid for this for about 900 Singapore dollars. So to summarize this gimbal, I can say that it is very lightweight. It's definitely in its own class. It is not a copy of the Ronin-s, as a lot of people has mentioned. Now the last thing that I want to say is that I think a lot of people are very hesitant on buying this gimbal because you know they are afraid that there's no customer support. But I can safely say that, you know, I've been on the discussion board on Facebook. You know, they do reply back to your questions and your queries, and the fact that they are updating their firmware quite frequently, you know, shows that they are actually, you know, wanting to improve their firmware and their hardware as well. Accsoon, I think you're doing a great job, so continue to do that. If anything is lacking for this gimbal, I would say it's a remote control. I've asked Accsoon if they are doing one, and they said yes, it's coming up soon, so I'm still waiting for that. So yeah, for my usage, this gimbal is a beast. You know, it can even hold a small rig cage and a microphone. So before I forget, there is actually an app for the Accsoon A1-S. It is a pretty good app. You can actually calibrate your settings. You can even update your firmware through the app, so that's pretty good. There's a joystick as well, like most other gimbals. And one thing I really like is the creative function in the gimbal, where you can you have the panorama feature, you have the time-lapse feature, you have the motion control feature, and lastly the ultra wide angle. I haven't had time to play with all these features yet, except the motion control, which I have tried, and it is really cool. Basically, you can set different points like A, B, and C, and you know the gimbal will just go to these points, and you know you can just do like a time lapse or something like that. So yeah, that's a pretty useful feature that I have used so far. So if you're still hesitant on purchasing the Accsoon A1-S, I hope this video sort of changes your mind a little bit. If you'd like to ask me more questions regarding this gimbal, feel free to do so in the comments section below. I'll be doing a full review and unboxing video in the next couple of weeks when I have fully tested this gimbal. So yeah, I guess that's the end of the video. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, remember to give that thumbs up, a click, smash. If you want to see more videos like this, remember to subscribe to my channel. I would love it. But yeah, I'll see you guys next time. I believe it is one of the latest gimbals out there right now in the... Oh, sorry. It's okay.